The decline of feeding Grandpa is starting to get out of hand. With multiple things affecting Grandpa and how effective he can be on the map, a large amount of family members is just starting not to feed him at all, and they're just starting to focus on securing the property. This is a problem, but the solution is so obvious that nobody's really talking about it. But the question is, how did we get to this point? After a few months after the game dropped, high-level players started to become aggressive and take the fight to Grandpa, because that is the biggest way family members can be effective on the map. In the beginning stages of the game, feeding Grandpa to get him to level 5 was the plan, but it does take some time. And then the rush meta was born, and due to victims escaping 5 minutes into the match, feeding Grandpa just became more of a risk than it is a reward.
Danger!
Then, to make things even worse, Grandpa was starting to be stabbed more, which made it even more difficult to get Grandpa up to level 5. The last patch previous to August 1st release patch tweaked the victim's proficiency attribute, and now Connie is back being a threat. The car battery, for example, can be turned off in 8 seconds or so, and has led to more people ganging up and making a run for the battery, because usually there's only one family member over there. If you have multiple victims and one family member, grappling becomes an issue, and that's starting to happen more constantly, and it's giving the victims enough time to escape, especially when turning off the battery does not take as long. With that kind of tweak to the victims, how can anybody take time to feed Grandpa? The devs is aware that feeding Grandpa is a challenge, so they decided to rework Grandpa perks and how they work. Now they're grouped in levels 1 through 3. Of course, the stronger the perks are level 2s and level 3 if you can feed Grandpa up to that level. I'm assuming this was an attempt to include Grandpa in the game more, because it only takes about 95 level of blood in order to get Grandpa to level 1. But against high level players, this will still be a challenge. A rework on Grandpa, like I said, released on August 1st, and it lowered some key perks from level 3 to level 2 to make it easier to obtain. And they also tuned some more perks for their effectiveness. Hopefully, with new patch coming, it will make Grandpa more useful, because right now, feeding Grandpa to level 3 will probably be at the cost of exterior exit being open on most maps. At the moment though, feeding Grandpa has not increased. This next patch will give an idea if the new methods are working. If not, then I fear Grandpa will continue to be a second thought, if even a thought at all, and also a punching bag for the victims. Speaking of a punching bag, remember to hit one of those engagement buttons at the bottom of your screen. I appreciate it. Meanwhile, the dev team for TCM posted this to their Twitter page. And it's about extending XP, but only if within the next 24 hours, Grandpa changed levels 500,000 times. Now this goal was reached, but at what cost to the player's mental, especially if you're playing the family members. I did not play during this time, but I can imagine it was a shit show for the family. The encouraging of feeding Grandpa, but also stabbing of him at the same time, just put more of a cat and mouse into the gameplay. While they are trying to encourage feeding Grandpa, they're also encouraging stabbing him. The family member must also stop people from escaping the map. So this will lead to one family member checking the battery and being trolled by the victims, while the other two is too far to help. In the way the game is played for the family right now, not most of the family members are on the same objective. Some of the family members on your team are trying to prevent the victim from escaping, while that one family member is trying to feed Grandpa while stopping him from getting stabbed at the same time. Now, I mentioned there's a solution to slow down the stabbing of Grandpa. Grandpa sit with a hammer in his hand. Well, why not put that to use? Grandpa should have a defense mechanism to limit the amount of attacks on him. This is the only way to give victims an ultimatum, and that is attacking Grandpa and risk being hit by him, or just plain trying to escape like the game is supposed to be played. The only defense for Grandpa right now is Hitchhiker laying down his traps around Grandpa to help mitigate the amount of times he's stabbed. But it takes away from Hitchhiker using the traps somewhere else, and we all know that the devs did not mean for Hitchhiker to waste traps on Grandpa. Allowing Grandpa to defend himself is the only solution I see to stop the amount of attacks on him. What do you think can be done to help more people make Grandpa a priority? Or do you think it's too late?